Jackson? I ain't here. Give him a round of applause. Oh, Jackson is really here. Oh, Jackson has a club. Aloha!
Aloha!
Aloha! Aloha!
Aloha!
Aloha!
Aloha!
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, aunties, uncles, tutus, grandpas, I was honored to be asked to speak here at this event, and I was like, great, what am I going to say? And then something came to me. I moved back to this beautiful island in April, and I've grown up here, spent almost my entire life here, except for a brief 20-year period in Babylon, then back to the island. And I noticed that on a lot of the bumper stickers, or on a lot of the cars and trucks, there was this bumper sticker that said, "Keep it quiet." As in, don't share the aloha. Don't share the island. Keep it quiet. Keep it to yourself. And that to me implies that there's a scarcity here. That somehow there's not enough Kauai to share. That made me think about a couple hundred years ago, when a group of people arrived in canoes, bringing with them boatloads of food that they would rely on in this, their new home. Ladies and gentlemen, the first GMOs arrived on the island. Tumbleweed. And this Kauai is indeed the garden island, in the truest sense of the word. It's not Kauai, the untouched paradise island. It's Kauai, the garden island. And to me that implies that it's been gardened. That generations, successions of human beings, successions of Kauaians have come together to grow the land. To create this place of abundance. This beautiful garden island. But the question remains, how? How do we share the aloha? Because to simply keep bringing visitors and running them through our same thing with the rental cars and the traffic in Kapa and the timeshares and everything, it's not sustainable. So how are we going to share the aloha? How, instead of keeping it quiet, are we going to share the aloha with the entire world? And so ask yourselves, as my fellow gardeners of this garden island, what needs to happen in order for us to share the aloha with the entire world? Knowing full well that if we can figure it out, the aloha we can share will return to us. The aloha Kauai can share will return to us. The rest of the world will give us aloha. So what is that Kauai going to look like? The Kauai of 2020, the Kauai of 2030, the Kauai of 2050 and 2200. The oldest man in America turned 114 2 days ago. Mr. Walter Brunig turned 114 years old. Some of the children running around here will experience the Kauai of 2200. As insane as that sounds. What is going to have to happen? That's what we need to ask ourselves. Our problems are not political, they're not financial, they're not personal, they're not religious. Our problems are entirely technical in nature. So what is the technology that we need to implement so that we can share the aloha with the entire world and in turn receive the aloha from the entire world? I don't know. None of us, I think, in this room could stand up and say, I know the answer. But what excites me is that I woke up this morning and I went to my backyard and I picked food. And then I went to my friend's yard and I picked more food. And then I went to another friend's yard and I picked more food. And I came here with a big box of food. And it was all just growing. There is so much abundance on this island. There is so much aloha on this island. If we want it and are willing to come together as a community, person to person, we can create a garden island worth sharing. We are the gardeners. Kauai is the garden island. How are we going to share it? That is the question I want you to take with you from this event. when I thought about how we're going to make this happen. A friend of mine, the amazing Miss Joanna Carolyn, who I'd love to give a round of applause to right now, because she was absolutely a driving force behind this event. Joanna Carolyn, wherever you are. Joanna said to me that JoAnn, our darling JoAnn, the lady of the evening, was the sustainability candidate. And so, I'm with JoAnn. I support JoAnn Yukimura. And I'll support anybody who is a sustainability candidate. I'll support anybody whose motto is share the aloha. This garden island. Let's garden it. Let's turn it into the most beautiful, most sustainable, most egalitarian, most friendly place on the planet Earth. And we alone can do this because we have the rainfall, we have the ecosystem, we have the healthy soil, and most importantly, we have the aloha. We have the aloha. We have the aloha. So ask yourselves, how are we going to garden this garden island? And ask yourselves, how are we going to share the aloha with the rest of the world? Let's not keep it quiet. Let's shout it loud. Kauai, the garden island, shares the aloha. Now, let's come together, person to person, family to family, in groups, in communities, and figure out how we're going to stop making trash, how we're going to be energy independent, how we're going to make sure we have enough water, how we're going to provide for the local people of this island who are being marginalized, step by step. That is what is my passion. That is what excites me. This problem we face is nothing but a giant opportunity to share the aloha with the entire planet. I'd like to personally thank Miss Buffy St. Marie, a hard act to follow, and I'd very much like to thank Miss JoAnn Yukimura, the sustainability candidate for Kauai, a woman I've known a long time. I had the honor of dancing with her after her election when I was 8, I think. We had a nice dance together. And I'd very much like to thank all of you, and especially Russ and Aaron and everyone here at 22 North, and my beautiful aloha-ettes. Thank you. Aloha! Aloha! Let's share the aloha! Thank you very much. My name is Jackson Nash. I'll see y'all later.
Thank you, Jackson, and the aloha. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Give them a round of applause. Oh, they got a routine, too. That's excellent. Kurt, could you help me get this so we can have it as a podium?